Hey there! Welcome to Sneaking in the Green Room. I'm your host, Andrew Kushner, and each week I get to sit down with some of Portland's funniest comedians. Hell, let's be honest, these are some of the country's funniest comedians. And today, I've got a special one. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I've been doing this show for 4 months now, and every single comedian, not every, but pretty much has mentioned one comic's name. And it's you, Whitney Streed. First and foremost, thank you for taking the time out of your day to come and talk to me.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
You know it. I want to let you know, I did this show to kind of, I'm the rookie. I just started doing this, and there's not really any rule book out there or, tips and pointers of what, to do or not to do. I mean, you can search for them and find them from comedians. But what I wanted to do was have real comedians sit down next to me, and we can kind of pick their brains, your brain, and find out what's going on. What should I be doing? What should I not be doing? But first off, I want to know about you. Where did you grow up? Where were you born?
I was born in Colorado Springs.
Oh, I don't know why I thought you were an Oregonian.
No, not even. I've been here for 7 years. Grew up in Colorado, and then I went to school in Pennsylvania, and spent some time in Washington, D.C. before I came here.
You moved around.
I have. I've lived a number of places, a number of climates.
And so, Colorado Springs, how long were you there?
All the way through high school. I graduated high school there, and then went to school after that.
Are you a Denver Broncos fan?
Well, it's required.
It is required.
Not unless they're in the Super Bowl. Like, I don't give one shit.
Are you excited? I mean, it's this weekend.
I don't mind the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I like the idea of a thing that so many people are watching at the same time. That's kind of what I think about it. I'll always watch the halftime show. So
I am the same way. I don't really get into the Super Bowl as much as I used to. I think as I got older, sports has just kind of not been important. I think making enough money to pay my rent is kind of those are my focuses these days.
Focus.
Yeah.
Yes, totally.
Gotta have goals, and I guess you've got to have. I don't remember the word. See, this is.
You gotta have food, I think.
Food is important.
Food is very important.
Yes.
I do want to share briefly my vision for the Super Bowl halftime, just because I want to talk about it so much so it goes out into the.
Is it Beyonce?
Universe. This year it's Beyonce. It's Beyonce and Coldplay.
Wow, that's an interesting combo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's hear it.
But my vision, this is what I want to happen one day, is that Reggie Watts plays the halftime show.
That would be amazing.
Can you imagine? What that man would do with the consciousness of the whole entire nation?
How is he not everywhere right now? Because he is amazing.
Best. He is just fucking tops.
He is. No, I have a man crush on him, and it is huge. He's brilliant.
It's spectacular.
So, okay, Colorado Springs. When did you, first start getting a liking to comedy, or were you more into theater arts?
Yes, actually. I did theater all through high school, but I didn't perform. I was a stage manager. I did backstage stuff.
Interesting.
And that's what I went to college for, actually, was to be a stage manager. I was studying theater, focused on stage management, but that didn't last very long. I ended up switching history.
Now, the whole time were you kind of with envy looking at the actors and saying, I want to do that, or?
Sometimes, not really though. I performed a couple times, but I wasn't no great actor, I can't sing great or anything, it's capable, I was in choir, but not by myself,
Same way, yeah.
So I think I like the idea of people listening to me, that's for sure, but,
co-signing your bullshit. I don't know, that for me, that's for comedy. I love it.
I want this too. I want this for me.
I need those likes on Facebook.
I gotta have the likes. You gotta have the likes. But yeah, so I don't really know where the switch came. I performed always, but not individually. I was in band all the time,
Did you have an improv kind of? Did you have any interest? No, you just. Now let me ask you, when did stand-up comedy become a thing? When did that?
When did I start?
Or I guess when did you have a thought in your head that's something I might want to do?
Well, consciously, it was not. It was a very limited thing. I was living in Washington D.C., which was 2 years before I moved here, so 10 years ago.
Was that for school or?
No, I moved there after college. My partner and I moved there at the time to work, and I worked at a textbook company. An online textbook company.
McGraw-Hill? Oh,
no, it was terrible actually. It was it's been subsumed by Plato now.
Oh.
So it's over, but Anyways, that was what I was doing there, and we went to go see, my partner and I went to go see an open mic for someone that she was working with, someone that she knew at work was going to try an open mic for the first time. So we went to support this woman at some mall, some comedy club in a mall in Arlington or in the next town over.
Sounds awesome.
And yeah, and I remember going and, I mean, just thinking very rudely that I was like, oh, I could definitely do this. Like, I could do this much better than lots of these people. Because I'd never been to an open mic, and of course most people think that is true at an open mic.
Oh yeah.
It's a rude thought, but I had it, and then I just didn't think about it much at all. It might have chewed in the back of my head, but it was not in my conscious thought at all until I moved here, and I was in this really weird place. I had all this free time because I was still doing the textbook job, except I was doing it from home. And so,
were you VPNing and having to log in?
Well, so I was just, I would just have assignments to finish, and just like I would in the office, but you get so little done in an office. And you spend so much time at the office, and it's going and froming the office that when you're just working at home, I was working a ludicrously small amount of time.
Getting everything done.
And then also, I'm sure, slacking more and more as time went on. But I had so much time, and I was so comfortable at that point financially. It was I felt awful about it, because I was like, something is happening. I'm supposed to be doing something with this, because this is too much. I need a focus. I need some kind of creative endeavor. And I thought I was gonna be a writer, and I remember a friend moved out here to be a writer, and he works at a publishing company now. So I was like, maybe I'll be a writer, but I just didn't write. I'm not a writer. I'm not writing.
You hadn't written anything before then, or I
write poetry. I wrote for school. I can write for school. I know I'm good.
But you've never taken the time to sit
down.
Yeah,
I don't write. There's no stories I need to flop out. So there was I didn't know what to write, and so I'm like, well, if I'm not writing, then I'm obviously not a writer. The facts are this. There's no writing, and I must have seen an advertisement for an open mic somewhere at Curious. I didn't go to Curious first, but I'd seen them. They were tabling, because that was right when it opened, actually.
Okay. Yeah.
So they were tabling at Alberta Street, the big street thing. The first Thursday.
Gotcha. Yeah.
That was still acceptable to go to 7 years ago. It was not a complete disaster.
I haven't heard the word. I haven't heard about the album. I mean, they had some issues last year.
There's a lot of issues. I don't even know if they're doing it anymore, because
there was
it was just so.
The community didn't want it going on, and
It's
wanted to start charging taxes.
It's ridiculous. It should be what they want. The point of it was that it was a community thing. So.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh, maybe I'll try stand-up comedy. Maybe I'll just try this. And I poked around online, and I was able to find out that there was a boiler room. There was an open mic in the boiler room.
Oh, the boiler room. Longest running mic in
Longest running. I think at that point, it was not the longest running at that point. Suki's was, but.
Oh, that's right. I've heard the Suki stories.
But, so I went to the boiler room, and I had this really weird day where I woke up, and at this point I had a mohawk, so you can picture this. I had this mohawk. Because I was working from home, and I was like, why would I not? It's never gonna happen again. It looked terrible. I did not pull it off. It was not for me. But that was where I was at the time. And I put on this outfit one morning and with these earrings very specifically, and I was like, you know what? I should wear this outfit when I first try stand-up comedy. This is what I should wear. This is a very out of character thought for me. I don't think like this. It was weird.
I did the same thing my first time too.
Yeah, because you're just I think because people were picturing you. People can see you. You can see what they see.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the day, I was tutoring. I was tutoring somewhere, so I went off to tutor. And then by the time I was done tutoring,
what do you tutor?
I tutored math or.
Oh, you're smart.
I'm good at helping people learn.
There you go.
But
I just confused the whole situation. I just interrupted you. That's what I do.
No. So I was coming back. As I was leaving there, going home, I was just suddenly like, no, I have to do it tonight. To do it now. Tonight is now. Now is the time. You'll do it tonight.
Yeah.
You'll do it tonight. I just psyched myself up. I had no jokes. I sat in the parking lot and wrote jokes down. I had never considered the jokes. I had just considered the standing.
Exactly.
And so this remains my problem to this very day. But so I go and I got there way too early and I got hammered. Hammered.
Oh.
Because I was so nervous. And I got there early. Okay, it was definitely Kevin. And all these people were there that first night. My first night. It wasn't the first night. was only my first
Well,
night.
that's all that matters.
Yeah, in my story. Nathan was there, no, Nathan Brandon was there, Shane was there, Swimmy was there, Jimmy was there, like all these people.
This is the original. This is when it was really, just starting to.
Yeah, it's at the
get
beginning
going.
of the boom.
Yeah.
And then all these old guards who are gone, who we never see, or who were just, they were road dogs, and it was just not, it's a different time.
Yeah.
But so go up, and it was terrible. It was terrible. I did very poorly, but I riffed on doing poorly. I noticed that it was going badly, and I talked about that, but everyone was doing badly. Like, it wasn't like just me. Like, it's an awful room.
Oh,
like,
open mics are tough, especially
it's a wonderful room.
Boiler's amazing.
But like, it was an awful room, and it's often an awful time. That's why it's a good open mic, because you have to know what that feels like. It's critical. But so I was just and I was able to joke about that, honestly, in the moment.
Yeah.
And that actually landed. And because I looked so ridiculous, I had this mohawk. I was, I was just there and wasted. And a girl or something or whatever the fuck I was. And then people noticed me and they were like, hey, hello, you should come do open mics. And Kyle Harbert, of all human beings, gave me a physical copy of a list of open mics. Like, it was printed on paper. He had that.
Man, he is
So
prepared.
I don't know why that was a true thing, because that would never happen today. But so I just went. So I was just like, that was amazing. Like, it just blew my fucking mind.
Oh yeah, you got that rush.
I was just I'm in. This is definitely what I'm supposed to do forever. I just knew. It was crazy. And so I went home and I went back the next night. I went to Stukey's. I just went again. And it was terrible. And that night I met this guy who was running a class. He's not around anymore. He's in Cleveland now. But he was running a class at Curious, a stand-up class.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, it starts tomorrow. Just come. I don't need your money, because I just need people who are going to be engaged and involved, and just come to this class tomorrow. Just start coming to this class. And I was like, oh, okay, this is ridiculously fortuitous. That I just emerged to take your class.
It's meant to be.
And then and in that class there was all these people. Gabe wasn't in the class, but he was around. Shane was there, and Phil Schauberger was there, and Ricketts was there, and everyone was.
Legends.
Sean Connery was there. So
Wow.
it was. I was just like, oh, this is what I do now. It was just there's no comparable experience in my life to that week of just learning that this was what I was supposed to do.
And did you continue to just, every day or
just all the time.
No breaks in between there, said, oh, I'm not doing this anymore.
In the first few years at least, I was okay. There was some breaks, some manic break.
Well, hey, we all have those.
I dipped in and out. I've taken a couple breaks in recent years. They've become longer.
Gotcha.
More stressed. More angsty, but
Yeah, no, in my first 6 months, I've had a few moments where I'm I think the first time I saw Nathan Brandon, and I was like, that's so amazing. That's what I have to do.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, when you see people, you're just like, oh, there's no way.
Yeah. And
I can't do that.
No, it's
I don't make that sound.
Exactly. And the more amazing comedians I've seen, it's just it's still that same way. I still feel like, oh my God, there's so much to learn before I can even begin to walk.
Yeah, and that's just, there's always a million reasons to quit. That's the ticket. You just have to love it and keep doing it, otherwise there's no point in doing it. I don't know why you keep doing this shit if you don't love it, because it is awful.
I will say, worst. The bombing, at first for me was awful. And if I had started my career in my young days, 20, 21, I probably would have jumped off a bridge, and that's not even a joke.
It just cuts you. It feels so embarrassing.
It does.
It's awful.
At the end of the day, I've begun to embrace it. I don't know, I don't mind looking horrible and people just staring at me, and it's a good way to learn about yourself, and I think I can deal with anything now, so.
It toughens you up.
Do you remember a crazy moment, a bomb that you had that just.
I can tell you about a very exceptional bomb that was a few years in. It was probably 4 years in. And before it was like it is today, when there's all these wonderful in-town shows, and you can do all this comedy in town and not go anywhere. There's nowhere to do comedy in town. There's open mics and one show.
One show.
No, one show. A few. Yeah.
Was Harvey's around or?
Harvey's was there, and they actually had an open mic, and sometimes people actually worked there. But now people work there. I guess it's just all references, you know. But it was very
much different.
It was very unwelcoming. It wasn't like encouraging of exciting comedy or whatever. And there was open mics, and like I feel like there were some shows here and there, but like there weren't really shows in town. You went out of town to do shows. Like you would go to Salem.
Helium hadn't moved in.
No, Helium was not here. So you would go to Salem. You would go like Gresham. You know, like I did house parties. I did all these like, you know, just places that you would have to drive half an hour to, and you get there, and it's like, oh, I'm going to like the Wooden Chicken. And it's just like,
hey, I just did the Wooden Chicken. Oh boy, Lonnie Bruin rooms. Yeah.
I really love that Lonnie has kept these rooms going. Like it's just crazy to me because I mean, like he had John Graver starting these rooms like 10 years ago.
No, he has been hosting a battleground show for him up at Main Street.
See, this is what it used to be. Yeah, and this is the only thing that used to be there, you know. And I'm a precious flower, you know. I'm a bit of a Portland gem, and I'm not really built for all of the ruralness that.
Gotcha.
I'm just not what a lot of people would, and so but that didn't stop me from going and doing terribly in places. But I ill-advisedly accepted a offer of a gig from a gentleman who's quite funny named Will Woodruff, and he's
I've heard that name.
Yes, he's around. He doesn't do much in town. There's some things, but he's like it was a last minute thing that he was supposed to do and he had to back out. So he's like, can you go to Scappoose?
Ooh, Scappoose.
And do comedy at the Salmon Derby. And I was like, yes, because I was just saying yes. And I was like, just say yes, yes, and
anything,
like do it.
Oh yeah.
Just go. How much money? Yes, $40 definitely worth an hour drive or whatever. And I'm going, and I'm just like the dread. I'm alone. Tim Hammer is also supposed to be there, but he's going up later than me because there's 2 10-minute spots throughout this like 3.5 hour long dinner. Why?
The Salmon Derby. Everybody's wearing Carhartt.
The Salmon Derby. And so I'm just trying to convince myself that there's like by some miracle just like little enclave of like just really radical queer salmon derbyists like just there just waiting for me, just waiting to embrace my puns about sexuality, and that was not true. that was not exactly what happened. But what did happen is, I mean, I go in and I'm just looking at them, and they're all just eating. Like they all just caught a bunch of salmon, and now they're eating the salmon.
On cedar planks or something?
Yeah, like just a big, like in a cafeteria, like in a giant round outside. Though I cannot imagine a place where I would do worse. Like it was just, I was like, none of these people want to listen to me at all. There's people who could have done comedy here, and they would have been fine. Yeah. I was not that people. So I go up, and I just start. I started with. I tried to make a salmon derby joke, actually. Oh, I was just like, who won the derby? It was clearly not the salmon, which I thought.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I think it's very funny. It's funny. And so I just talked, and then I kind of, like, I could tell that when they heard.
That was a bold joke. That was,
just fuck that.
Yeah.
I was right. But so I just, like, kind of launched into it, and I would just be quieter and quieter. And then I would say something, and a couple people would look, and then they go back to it and at some point,
I'm not laughing at you.
Oh yeah, please laugh at me. It was horrible. Like I was doing everything wrong, and it was awful. And at some point, the dude walks up to me, who books me, and like just walks directly up to the platform that's serving as the stage, and he's like, "You can stop if you want."
Oh, not even a light, just a voice.
Stop if you want.
That's a great one.
Oh, I loved it. It's so funny to me. And so I was like, I'll like do one. So later, skaters, and I jumped off the stage. But this is actually not a good bomb story because it has a very happy ending. He felt bad. He felt like he had done the wrong thing in having comedy at this place. I mean, like, I'm like, this is partly my fault. Please understand. And he's like, no, I'm so sorry. This was terrible. Yeah. He paid me double. He paid me double for bombing, for just eating just huge piles of salmon dick. And then he paid Tim Hammer to not perform, which is unfortunate because they would have actually liked Tim Hammer.
Man, I've heard great stories of Tim. He
was a very funny comedian when he was doing comedy.
I think he's making the Lord laugh now. Someone told me, but that's hey.
He does his thing.
We all have hobbies.
He's got a lot to deal with.
Yeah, hey, I have no idea. Yeah. At the same time, that's a great story. Salmon Derby comedy. Now, I want to kind of get into Bridgetown. Because when
Who doesn't?
Yeah, no. Well, I want to get into. Oh, that was real smooth. When did that become, a reality? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's in the 9th year now. So it started. There was a year before I was in Portland when it was happening.
Gotcha.
And then I came, and I was in the second one and volunteered because at that point everybody in town was in it. Like.
Anybody
There were 35 comics and we were all in the festival, like, pretty much that was kind of how it was
those were
at that
wonderful
point.
days.
The halcyon days. It was rough transitional years to where do we got now, with 300 or 400 comics.
Yeah,
like literally.
Every day I see 10 new ones jumping out.
And it's so hard to know, I mean, and this is always true, but like, you don't know how long people are going to do it. And like, people are in for a minute and then they're out, but then they're actually still doing it and you didn't realize that, or like they're doing it in Fresno or something and then they come back and they're really funny. So like, I think it's really cool. But yeah, Bridgetown has just exploded and it was so small and so like indie when it started, and it's like amazing to think that that's what it was, and that's now it's like one of the best festivals in the country, like legit.
It's huge.
Like it's so big, it's so well done. Not to brag, but it really is. Like it's a good festival.
It's not a brag, that is
And,
what
like,
it's the truth.
The comics have fun, the shows go well. The volunteers come out, they do their jobs, and they love to do it, which means that we're treating them right, I think, So, like, I think that's all what you need.
Are there any sneak peeks on who might show up this year?
I don't even know. I'm so not in that particular loop, to be completely honest.
Gotcha.
I think Sarah Schaefer is already confirmed. We tweeted
Wow.
that. That's not.
Very cool.
Is that true? I don't even know if that's true. I think we tweeted it.
Well,
If
either
it's not
way,
true, I didn't say it.
no one's gonna hold you to it. No one's watching this anyway.
I don't come out but
But now, when is the festival again? It's
this year it's the first week of June.
the first week of June.
It's traditionally, it's usually early May. But
Early
this
May.
year we discovered,
Pushed it back a little bit.
yes, it was supposed to be early. It was supposed to be that first week of May this year too. But apparently, every 4 years there is a enormous Methodist convention.
Who would have known?
Enormous, and this year it's in Portland, and they took all the hotels. Like all of the hotels were booked. In November we found this out, and we were just like, what? Like this doesn't even our venues have been booked for months, and then we're suddenly like, what? There's Methodists? What?
There's not like a church dorm that they can all stay in?
There's so many people, so
I
it's
know.
just like,
Oh.
get together.
Well, I mean, and now the way it works is I'm just really new to it. There'll be different showcases at different venues.
Yes.
Is there one specific location that usually gets the most?
No, there's there's kind of tiers of venues, if
Yeah.
you will. So like we got like the Doug Fir and the Bossa Nova, which is clearly A-level.
Oh, yeah.
There will be great shows in there all the
Great
time.
rooms.
All the shows are really great,
Yeah.
but like the really bigger names are going to be in probably bigger rooms like that.
Sure.
I think we have Revolution Hall again this year. We did last year, and we used it for like Dr. Katz, which
Oh,
was
wow.
great. We had a panel
Oh,
for the
man.
Dr. Katz show, which was super cool.
So
Dean
cool.
was on it, Dean Garofalo was on it,
Oh,
and like.
dropping names. Oh, hey.
Like, these people that definitely don't know me. But yeah, so it's really I'm excited about this year because I think we've been in so many different configurations in terms of venues. Like the whole festival used to be at Hawthorne.
That's what I remember someone saying. It was all like a street fair.
Yeah, and it's all very walkable. And it's still walkable. It's a bit of a walk, but it's walkable, I think.
Yeah.
But for a while we had sort of like different zones going on. There was like Hawthorne Upper, and then there was like Hawthorne Lower, which was way down by like it was Analog and White Owl and shit.
Okay, yeah.
And then we had the Hollywood Theater for a while. They were doing stuff at the Hollywood Theater, so there were like sort of different zones. So you just kind of like camp out in the zone and do a bunch of shows there.
That sounds so fun.
I've never gone to the festival. I've only ever worked at the festival, so I don't really know how to do it as a patron.
Interesting. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
I'm very bad at festivals. If I'm not working at them, like I really can't handle that amount of energy. Like it tweaks me out a lot. So
I had heard a story of you. You're able to get some food from one of these.
Yes.
From I don't think it was Bridgetown, but I think
It's a social engineering. Oh, don't worry, I get food from Bridgetown.
Smart.
Bouncing around. It's
something about burritos or
oh,
something.
something about.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's an old tale.
Well, I'm excited about it. I just wanted to get it out there so people watching, you got to go out and see Bridgetown and show your support.
Get a wristband, because then you can just see whatever. Like,
exactly.
You can buy individual tickets to shows and stuff, but I feel like if you're going to be there for more than a day, you should go
do it up. Yeah.
Like, if you can, and if you can't afford a wristband, just volunteer, and then you get to see everything that when you're not working. So
there we go.
It's way better.
Amazing. Well, here's the other part of the show I wanted to get into as we discussed. There's no rule book, you know, and let's talk about the world today, or at least our country.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people like to cry about everybody's too PC, everybody's sensitive. And when I first started comedy, especially in Portland, I bought into it. And I believed that my jokes weren't going across because the crowd was too sensitive. And recently I've seen that no, I was just not funny. And that was the key to it. And not understanding my audience and respecting that what I say, what comes out of my mouth, is, you know, they get to decide what it means. And so I've started to not feel that there's anything you can't talk about in Portland as long as you do it right and say it in a smart way. But I want to get your opinion. PC culture, I mean, how do you feel about, you know, the environment and what's going on, you know?
Well, I think it's really, I think the idea of PC culture is it's a kind of straw man, because when people are angry about it, I feel like people are just angry that they're being forced to be aware that their jokes have an impact on people. And
Exactly.
I feel like the argument that I hear most often about this is the idea, like, it's just a joke. We're just comedians, we're just joking, we're just, you know.
Yeah.
Which is like, yes, obviously we are joking, and these are jokes, but that doesn't mean that what you're saying doesn't mean anything. I also don't know why a person would want to do something that had absolutely no meaning. That seems like a weird way to spend your time.
Yeah.
A weird pursuit. Like, I want to make sure that I am not having any impact on anything at all. Like, I don't know why that's a goal.
Yeah.
But it's also never true. So, like, even if that's your goal, yelling at people is the wrong way to have no impact on their lives.
Correct.
Just leave. Like, you can have no impact. So, I think that, I was kind of thinking about this because I knew we were going to talk about it. I'm going to tell a joke that's not my joke, and then I will talk more about it.
Sounds good.
So this is a joke that I will butcher the telling of it, but this is a joke of Andy Woods. Andy Wood is the founder of Bridgetown.
Genius.
Super genius in so many different ways. But he's a great fucking comedian, and that is overshadowed, I think, by his talents in other areas sometimes. He's just so funny on stage, and one of my favorite jokes of his is he's talking about what is the difference between being self-conscious and being self-aware. And he explains it by saying, well, the difference is that no one is going to be worried if the robots become self-conscious.
Correct.
But, you know, so just like, this has got a great tag. You know,
Yeah. That's a good joke.
This is metal make me look fat or something. I don't even know what the tag is. But, like, I feel like the point is that, like, to become self-aware, like, you go through a period of self-consciousness. Like, that's why when you're a teenager, you're so self-conscious, is because you're becoming self-aware, and it's horrifying.
Mm-hmm.
And you're looking at yourself, and you're like, oh my god, this is all terrible. I hate all of this. And if you don't have the wherewithal to know that that's coming from you, you're like, oh no, I hate all of that. I hate everything else. All of that hates me, and I hate that because it hates me. And it's just like, no, maybe you just hate you for a minute. And so I feel like that's kind of where we're at in this PC culture, is that we're just evolving to understand our actual, like, impact on each other. The world is changing. Like, our emotional awareness as a species is, I think, advancing, at least in some places, at least.
Yeah.
And not like at an individual level, in a way that, like, we can talk about this stuff well enough and often enough that a lot of people start to understand it. And that makes people squirmy, and that feels weird, and it's like, it's awful to think about things, and it's awful to think that you can hurt people with your words. Like, it's horrifying, you know? I understand not wanting to think that, and I have messed up, and I've said things that hurt people when I definitely didn't mean to, and I felt really awful about it, and I felt super defensive about it, and been like, no, that's not what I meant, you're dumb, you're too sensitive. And I'm like, well, who cares? I mean, one of us didn't give the other what they wanted. That's where we were at. I didn't do the job.
Exactly.
If this isn't the job I want, I should do the job somewhere else, you know?
Well, no, it makes sense, and I think a comedian told me at the end of the day, who do you want as your fans?
That's
And
the
I
thing.
mean, that is really what changed it for me, because I had a bigot in an audience that was horrible. He was throwing out just his own little jokes when he was watching. Anyway, he came up to me after my sets. I liked your jokes, and that was it. This was like my third or fourth like open mic, and I didn't really understand it at that point. But when that comedian told me, "Do you want those people as your fans?" It was like a real wake up call that, yeah, I don't want my stuff attracting those type of people, and so.
Or not even like, I don't even know if it's like a type of person.
Yeah, that's kind of, yeah.
But that type of humor, is that the way that I want to be getting a reaction?
Exactly.
You know?
Cheap, offensive jokes that are
Which definitely, I mean, like you can write really well crafted jokes that are all really based on fearful, shitty things.
Yeah.
You can be a very gifted comedian saying very small things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, you get to do that. People will come out and see you, But no one's entitled to make anybody laugh. Like,
Yeah.
you can't be angry in a room because they aren't what you wanted them to be. This is what they are.
Yeah. No, and it's you've got to know your audience. Even at an open mic, I mean, if there's 4 people in there that aren't comedians, when I go to an open mic, I kind of look for my audience. I want to have somebody so I can gauge my jokes to see if they're actually funny, because comedians, you'll never know.
No, if you're killing with comedians, you're doomed.
Yeah, exactly. In the beginning, that was my thing. Was I want to make the comics laugh, and I'm not making.
Because these are the people we're hanging out with all the time. Like, oh my god, they like me. They think I'm funny. I think they're really funny. But they think I'm even funnier. And that's I think also because I get caught up in that, and it gets you like really trapped in this weird ego loop too. Because then you start doing poorly in front of other people, and you don't understand, and then you resent other people, and you're like, only the comics. And there's just lots of pitfalls.
There are, and I mean. I just think at the end of the day, the easiest thing is just be funnier. Work on being funnier, not being offensive. There's a time and a place that you can skirt the line of, when you have some fans maybe,
right.
But in the beginning at an open mic, I started off just telling jokes about my ex-girlfriends, or, I get angry about things and just rant. And it's like, that's not the way to make friends. Like, if you were to go to a new school and just start yelling around the school, it's not going to happen. And you've got to bring that audience in to like you a little bit if they're going to laugh. So
yes, and I think people forget. I try to remember. I don't know. It's very scary to be on stage. It's very easy to become fearful. It's very easy to suddenly become mean or like frustrated or snap at someone, and it's easy to forget how much more power you have as a comedian than an audience member. Like, you have this huge microphone, like, with all the lights, like, if
these people are stuck.
Right, and if you're mean, you're gonna be mean. And it's not to say that there aren't some really, there are rooms out there where you just go out and you are fucking mean, and they want it, and they love it, and you will destroy, but that's because you know what you're doing. You know where you're trying to go.
There's a time and a place.
Yeah, you know the skills that you're trying to present to people, you know your message. That was what I wanted to say. It's like, I think jokes do well when you believe in them.
Exactly.
And if you don't, if you're just doing it because you think it's offensive, then everyone's gonna think it's offensive. Like, that's what you wanted me to think. It worked. You did it. Hooray!
Yeah,
well done. But I think people don't put enough stock in the power of what they actually believe. Like, I'm like this. If you believe it, that's what they feel. Like, you go on stage and you're really sad and everyone gets bummed out. Like, it's because you're a good comic. That's because everyone feels you. Stop making us feel sad.
Yeah.
Like, write a joke.
No, I had a joke that I told, and I remember people coming up to me after and saying, "Are you a right-wing conservative?" And that was the hardest, that was the worst at that point. But at first I started to say, no, they're just not listening to my joke properly, but no, it was my delivery.
Right.
And
because that's not their job to parse you out.
Exactly. So I think it's an ego thing. It's not willing to step back and say, why am I messing up? Not why is my joke not being accepted.
Totally, because you can't change them.
Yeah.
I mean, in a theoretical sense, the people in the audience are constructions of your own mind, because everything is, and you could, in theory, change them. It's a lot easier to just work on you.
Exactly. And I think
closer to the source.
That's the problem. I think we've stopped. I don't know, people just in general, in society in general, they want to put the blame on somebody else and never look within. So
It's hard. It's
It
hard.
is.
We don't have good models for it. We don't have.
I'm old too. I mean, it's taken. 10 years ago, I would have said, "No, man, I know what I'm doing. I've got it all together." You know?
Right. Yeah. Like the older you get, hopefully the more you realize you don't know anything.
I don't know
Like
anything.
I was like,
I'm okay. You know, I'm okay with it too.
when problems are happening, people are like, "What do we do?" And I'm like, "We see what happens next," because I don't know.
Exactly.
I
It's
don't
chaos.
know.
Well, I think we've gotten close to the end here. I wanted to let the people know, where can they find you if they want to see Whitney Streed's comedy, if they want to see some shows.
See the Streed. Find me. Twitter is probably the best thing.
And it's Streed with a D, not a T. It's not
I
Street.
mean, there's a T, but there's only one of them.
That is correct. Yeah, only one, not at the end. Okay. Yeah, I'll let you tell it.
What is the? I say like street, but with a D. That's how I say it. It's not
What is that? Is that a Dutch name? What is that?
a made up name.
Street.
It's from a typo on a street sign.
I like it.
I swear.
Well, my name is Kushner, but when we moved here, it was Kushner. We have like 3 different names. So.
I mean, I made it up. I made up that name.
Oh, it's not.
It's made up. It's from a typo on a street sign. I changed my name when I started comedy.
I guess I could have asked that from the beginning.
Well, no one assumed it. It feels like a real name.
Well,
It is a real name.
there's
It's
a
real
big
name.
comedian in our city right now, and he's using a fake name. His real name is Eric Davis. I won't say who he is, but yeah, you have to figure that one out.
Some research.
Well, Whitney, again, thank you for coming out and taking the time to just sit with me. I don't know what you're thinking, but I think you've given some great insight. And again, I just want to thank you for all the time and the energy and your just efforts, what you've done for this community. I mean, it's booming here. I don't know what to say. People who come and visit from other cities are like, wow, you guys are doing it. This is amazing what's happening in Portland. And I think you really need to pat yourself on the back, because you are a big part of that, and a lot of comedians really look at you as, a little bit of a hero. So
That is sweet. And excessive was sweet. So thank you.
at the same time, thank you for coming out again.
Yes,
This
thank you for having me. This was super fun.
This has been an amazing episode. Folks, go out and see Whitney.
See me.
Yeah, big time.
Go see all of us.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything, so you won't be able to see me. Yeah. But anyway, have a great day, great
Pleasure.
night, great rest of your career.
Thank you.
And we're looking for
Likewise.
big, big things. Yeah. That's already
Okay.
happening. No, they're already happening.
They're right here. It's getting
No.
bigger.
Hey, take care, folks.